Welcome to our noon edition of Arirang News. Here are the headlines at this hour. Following the ballistic missile launches over the past 2 days, President Yoon Sung-yeol has asked for the U.S. and Japan for a joint response using the three countries' missile information sharing system. Slamming the North, the U.S. State Department also called on China to play a constructive role in controlling the regime's nuclear ambitions. Pope Francis has allowed priests to give their blessings to same-sex couples, but this does not mean that the Vatican is accepting marriage. Still, Monday's declaration is seen as a major step forward for the Church in regards to the LGBTQ community. At least 111 people have been killed and more than 200 injured after an earthquake hit China's Gansu province on Monday night. Chinese state media registered tremors at a 6.2 magnitude, and rescue efforts are underway. And let's begin with the comments made by President Yoon Sung-yeol at the cabinet meeting earlier this morning. Following North Korea's launch of intercontinental and short-range ballistic missiles in the past 2 days, President Yoon Sung-yeol warned North Korea directly, saying the provocations will only inflict more pain on the regime itself. President Yoon added that the recent launch confirmed the function of South Korea, the U.S., and Japan's real-time sharing of data on the North's missiles. Regarding his state visit to the Netherlands last week, he called it an opportunity to elevate South Korea's strategic coordination and advanced technology cooperation with a key European nation to a new level. Citing the chip alliance with the Netherlands, Yoon underscored the semiconductor cooperation as a means of further boosting the nation's strongest industry. Also, to combat North Korea's growing missile threat, South Korea, the U.S., and Japan on Tuesday launched a real-time information sharing system. Seoul's defense ministry said the three countries established the system to detect and evaluate missiles launched by North Korea in real time so that they could ensure the safety of citizens and improve related capabilities. Speaking in an interview broadcast locally on Monday, Defense Minister Shin Won-sik explained that data sharing on North Korean missiles had been limited to during exercises, but now information is being shared continuously between the three countries. The launch of the system was agreed at a trilateral summit held in November last year, as well as at the Camp David summit back in August. North Korea has officially announced that yesterday's missile launch drill was for a Hwasong-18 solid-fuel ICBM. The regime's leader Kim Jong-un also attended the launch, and our North Korean affairs correspondent Kim Jong-sil has the details.
It's official. It was an intercontinental ballistic missile that Pyongyang fired on Monday. The North state-run Korean Central News Agency reported on Tuesday that the regime on Monday conducted a, quote, launch drill of a Hwasong-18 solid-fuel ICBM. It also reported that the North's leader Kim Jong-un attended the launch and said its success sends a clear message to the hostile forces about what action and option North Korea is ready to take if, quote, Washington makes a wrong decision. The KCNA also reported that the loud advertising of the U.S. nuclear-powered submarine USS Missouri, which arrived in the South Korean port city of Busan on Sunday, is an extremely provocative move that's gravely threatening to North Korea's regional and environmental stability.
Pyongyang wants to say that it has the upper hand when it comes to the military issue on the Korean peninsula. The regime also wants to stress that all ROK-US joint military exercises are to bring an end to the North's regime. That's why it's saying it wants to strengthen its deterrence by taking strong countermeasures, including a preemptive nuclear strike. The Hwasong-18 especially is an ICBM, so the fact that Kim Jong-un was there might be aimed at sending some kind of message to the US.
A South Korean Unification Ministry official told reporters on Tuesday that it is North Korea that has been continuously developing various strategic weapons while stating its nuclear forces policy and its constitution. The official said Pyongyang tries to justify its nuclear missile development plans by shamelessly blaming the South Korea-US alliance while repeatedly ignoring UN Security Council resolutions. Kim Jong-sil, Arirang News.
Moving on to the Israel-Hamas war. Hamas says there will be no release of hostages unless Israel ends its armed conflict. The comment comes as the Palestinian militant group released a video showing 3 elderly Israeli hostages. Lee Seung-jae has the latest.
Hamas official Osama Hamdan on Monday reaffirmed the militant group's stance that any negotiations on a hostage release were off the table until Israel stops its war against Gaza. Speaking at a press conference in Beirut, Hamdan said Hamas is open to initiatives from Qatar and Egypt about a hostage exchange that would stop the armed conflict in Gaza. The comments came as the militant group on Monday released a minute-long video showing 3 elderly Israeli hostages pleading for their immediate release. The 3 hostages aged 79, 80, and 84 were taken to Gaza on October 7th. In the video, one of the captives said he, along with other elderly hostages, have chronic illness and that their conditions were harsh. International condemnation of Israeli airstrikes is growing as recent attacks at a hospital in Gaza killed a 13-year-old girl, while an airstrike at a UN-run school also killed 5 others. As the funerals for 3 Israelis mistakenly shot and killed by Israeli soldiers last Friday were held, Israelis also protested against its government, calling for a ceasefire for the release of the hostages. However, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is maintaining his hardline stance, saying the military will continue to fight until Hamas is eliminated and all hostages are released. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said he held talks with Israeli officials to get a clearer assessment on their military operations. Speaking at a joint news conference on Monday with Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, Austin said that the 2 defense chiefs discussed pathways towards a future for Gaza after Hamas. Gallant, on the other hand, said while there is no clock on the phases of the war, the next step would be to have refugees who fled from Gaza to be able to return home. However, he stressed that at the current stage, refugees from northern Gaza would be the first to return home. Lee Seung-jae, Arirang News.
The Vatican made a landmark ruling to allow Catholic priests to administer blessings to same-sex couples as long as they're not part of regular church rituals or liturgies. Choi Soo-young reports.
Catholic priests will now be able to bless same-sex couples. On Monday, Pope Francis approved the declaration Fiducia Supplicans published by the Vatican's Faith Department that allowed the possibility of blessings for couples in irregular situations, including unmarried couples, divorces, and same-sex couples.
People with homosexual tendencies are children of God. God loves them. God is with them.
However, the Vatican made clear this is not on offering any type of ritualization or impression of a marriage. The document stated that the blessing must never be given in regular ritual ceremonies, including the sacrament of marriage, mass, or a civil union, nor can it be given in connection with them. Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, who signed the ruling, said it does not violate the sacrament of marriage between a man and a woman, as it does not change or modify the Church's long-standing stance on marriage. But for the first time in the Catholic Church's history, the Vatican has opened itself to same-sex couples. It follows the Pope's continued commitment to reform and indicates a change from the Vatican's position in 2021 when it refused to bless same-sex unions. In October, the Pope indicated that priests could bless same-sex couples based on their judgment. However, conservative cardinals sought clarification on whether such blessings aligned with Catholic teachings. The Pope responded by emphasizing that marriage is exclusively between a man and a woman, and rituals implying in any other way should be avoided. Last Sunday, Pope Francis celebrated his 87th birthday, and according to religious experts, there is a prediction that, due to his ongoing health issues in old age, he may become even more proactive in Catholic reforms. Choi Soo-young, Arirang News.
An earthquake hit the northwestern Chinese province of Gansu late Monday night, leaving more than 100 people dead. Authorities are battling bitterly cool temperatures in a bid to prevent secondary damages. Yoon tells us more.
A moderately strong earthquake struck the Gansu-Qinghai border region of China late Monday night. The quake occurred at a depth of 35 kilometers, with its epicenter 102 kilometers west-southwest of Gansu's provincial capital city, Lanzhou. According to state media, at least 111 people were killed and more than 230 injured. But official reports have not provided any information on any missing people in the quake's aftermath. Seismologists are reviewing available data regarding the earthquake's magnitude, which the U.S. Geological Survey put at 5.9. The European Mediterranean Seismological Center reported it a magnitude 6.1 quake, while Chinese state media said it registered at 6.2 magnitude. Additionally, Chinese state media reported that a total of 9 aftershocks of magnitude 3.0 and above were recorded before dawn Tuesday. China's National Commission for Disaster Prevention, Reduction and Relief and its Ministry of Emergency Management have activated a Level 4 disaster relief emergency response. China has a 4-tier emergency response system for meteorological disasters, with Level 1 being the most severe. Officials said there has been some damage to water, electricity, transportation, communications, and other infrastructure without providing further details. The disaster area is in a high-altitude region where temperatures of minus 14 degrees Celsius were recorded on Tuesday morning. Rescue efforts are underway to prevent secondary disasters caused by factors beyond the quake. 이은진, Arirang News.
Now on the economic front. The value of exports by South Korean drone companies surpassed $11.1 million this year. That's according to the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport on Tuesday, who said the figure was over 4 times its goal of $2.3 million set internally at the beginning of the year. The biggest buyers of these drones were the U.S., Canada, and Japan. 80% of exports were actual aircraft, with the remainder made up of services, hardware, and software. South Korea and China have decided to activate a bilateral hotline to stably manage supply chain issues. The industry ministry on Monday said that working-level talks were held in Seoul for the very first time. Their officials discussed ways to address pending supply chain issues, including those surrounding the supply of urea. Seoul has been trying to secure more stockpiles of this substance, which is used to reduce carbon emissions in diesel vehicles like trucks. This comes after China recently suspended its urea exports amid tight domestic supplies. The former leader of the main opposition Democratic Party of Korea, Song Young-gil, has been arrested over bribery allegations. Seoul Central District Court issued an arrest warrant on Monday for Song, citing a risk of evidence tampering. The former 5-term lawmaker is suspected of illegal political funding ahead of the 2021 party convention, including distributing 66.5 million won, or around $51,000 to DP lawmakers and regional party heads. Song has denied the allegations, labeling it a, quote, a politically orchestrated investigation. South Korea's Pyeongchang-gun County is bustling again with the 2024 Gangwon Winter Youth Olympics set to take place there about a month from now. Ahead of this winter festa, ensuring safety is a #1 priority, and my colleague Shin Se-byuk went to check out such late-minute preparations.
South Korea is pulling out all the stops to ensure a safe and successful hosting of the 2024 Gangwon Winter Youth Olympics just a month away. Relevant government officials and members of the ruling People Power Party met on Monday and analyzed the work underway for the Games, stressing the significance of thorough preparation.
To quickly address on-site needs, we've set up a command centre. We've also assigned general managers for each venue to better manage on-site situations.
Safety remains the biggest concern. That being said, some 250 medical personnel will be deployed at 13 locations, including the Athletes Village and competition venues. The command center will run an on-site response team for infectious diseases and implement a crowd control system to respond to all potential challenges. The organizer also vowed to tackle all conceivable issues ranging from freezing conditions to even bed bugs. With regards to culture, a diverse array of programs has been curated, featuring events such as a DJ skate night, lessons from Olympians, and snow tube riding. Culture Minister Yoon shared plans for on-air programs and YouTube videos showcasing the global sports event. For the convenience of athletes and spectators, 150 free shuttle buses will connect major transportation hubs in host cities and sports venues. From January 19th, around 1,900 athletes will participate in the 2024 Winter Youth Olympics for 2 weeks in Gangwon Province, the first time the event is being held in Asia. Shin Se-byuk, Arirang News.
The number of physical albums sold in South Korea up until November this year exceeded 100 million. Data from Circle Chart showed that the number of albums sold this year jumped by 144% compared to the same time last year, hitting a record high. The number of albums sold in November alone was up 217%, and the rapid increase is mostly led by fans of K-pop boy groups as Stray Kids and BTS, which account for nearly half of the album sales. As the weather is getting colder, we need to look out for black ice. Black ice or clear ice formed on roads frequently cause major car accidents. South Korean researchers have developed a technology to prevent these dangerous road ice formations by using underground heat saved during the summer. Jong-un with the details.
In 2019, a multi-car collision involving around 40 vehicles occurred on the Sangju-Yeongcheon Expressway. The accident resulted in the loss of 7 lives and injured 30 people. A thin layer of black ice that formed on the road surface was identified as the cause of the accident. Invisible black ice poses a critical threat to drivers in wintertime.
If we say accident rates on dry roads are about 0.1, snowy roads could be about 0.5. When it comes to black ice, the accident rate spikes to around 0.8. Road ice formations are much more frightening than snow-covered roads.
While technologies such as installing heating elements to prevent road ice have been developed, they face limitations due to high cost and poor durability. South Korean researchers have developed a method using subsurface water to warm road surfaces, preventing the formation of ice. The new technology involves installing heating pipes beneath the road and using summer heat to continuously warm the water, raising the surrounding ground temperature. This accumulated heat is then used to supply warm water during winter, maintaining the road surface temperature at around 3 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Celsius and preventing ice formation. Infrared cameras have confirmed that surfaces where these pipes are installed show increased temperatures above freezing.
This method uses minimal energy by simply circulating warm water through the pipes to prevent the formation of ice. This allows for less energy consumption and the advantage of accident prevention.
The research team claims that applying this technology, especially in accident-prone areas like bridges and tunnel entrances, could be more efficient and cost-effective, reducing expenses by a factor of 10 compared to existing technologies. The durability of the pipe installation method suggests that it could be applicable to major icy zones on highways, potentially aiding the prevention of large-scale winter accidents. Jong-un, Arirang News.
Let's take a look at the latest news in the world now. Japan's Nippon Steel announced on Monday it has secured a deal to buy US Steel for $14.9 billion, including debt. When the deal is finalized, the world's number 4 steelmaker, Nippon Steel, will increase its annual global crude steel capacity to around 100 million tons. Months after US Steel put itself up for sale, Nippon Steel beat its competition Cleveland-Cliffs and ArcelorMittal to acquire the over 120-year-old steelmaker. According to Nippon Steel, the agreed per-share consideration to be paid to US Steel shareholders represents a premium of 40% based on US Steel's closing share price of $39.33 on December 15, 2023. While the US Steel Workers Union expressed disappointment over the foreign ownership of the US company, Nippon Steel said all commitments with the US Steel employees will be honored. On Monday, a Chinese foreign ministry spokesperson reacted to the sale of military tactical equipment by the US to Taiwan. Speaking to the press, Wang Wenbin said China would take resolute and forceful measures to safeguard national sovereignty and territorial integrity. Beijing also said it'll take measures against the relevant companies involved in arms sales to Taiwan. The Pentagon announced last Friday approval for the $300 million sale of tactical equipment to maintain Taiwan's command, control, communications and computers, or C4 capabilities. The United States is bound by the Taiwan Relations Act to provide Taiwan with the arms of a defensive character. In the U.S., a powerful storm hit northeastern states on Monday, leaving at least 4 people dead. The storm also resulted in blackouts, cancelled flights and flooded roads as more than 13 centimeters of rain was dumped on parts of New Jersey and northeastern Pennsylvania and around 10 centimeters on other areas of the northeast. Wind gusts of up to 113 kilometers per hour were also recorded along the southern coast of New England. According to poweroutage.us, more than 730,000 customers lost power across the region as of 5 p.m. local time on Monday. More than 500 flights were cancelled and thousands more were delayed. An evening dress worn by the late Princess Diana has been sold for $1.15 million at an auction in Los Angeles, setting a new record as the most expensive dress worn by Diana to be sold. The late Princess of Wales first wore the dress in 1985 in Florence, Italy. It was sold at auction for a final price that was 11 times its estimate, smashing the previous record of around $600,000 for a dress worn by Diana. The blue and black ballerina-length velvet evening dress was designed by Moroccan-British fashion designer Jack Azaguri. Kim Seong, Arirang News.
Hello, I'm Lee Ji-hyun with the latest weather updates. A severe cold snap continues to grip much of Korea, with cold wave alerts remaining in place in most of the central parts of the country. And of course, a strong wind is dragging down the feels-like temperatures, and we are in for a wave of snow this evening. Those of us in the western regions might want to use public transportation for a smoother evening commute. Jeollabuk-do province could see more than 15 centimeters of snowfall. Mountainous regions of Jeju Island are under a heavy snow advisory today. Afternoon highs should be a few notches higher this afternoon, so topping out at 2 degrees, Gwangju at 5 degrees this afternoon. Sunny skies to start off the day, then skies will get cloudier as the day goes on. Along with snowfall tonight, there will be stronger cold front approaching the country, getting worse as the week goes on. So please stay bundled and take good care of yourselves. That's Korea for you, and here's a look at the international weather conditions.
That wraps up our new newscast. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again at this time tomorrow.